Growth has no age limit. It begins the moment you decide to evolve. There is something powerful in the choice to continue becoming, no matter where you stand in life. Many people believe growth belongs only to the young, that energy and ambition fade with time, but that belief is only a cage made of fear and habit. The truth is, growth has nothing to do with years. It has everything to do with desire. The mind, when open, never grows old. The heart, when curious, never stops expanding. You can be 40, 60, or 80 and still awaken to a new way of living, still uncover new passions, still discover new sides of yourself that have long been waiting to be seen. Life is not a straight road. It is a series of chapters, and you are both the writer and the main character. When you decide to evolve, you give yourself permission to change your story. You start to see that every experience, success or failure, joy or pain, was never wasted. It all built the wisdom you now carry. That wisdom becomes your fuel, guiding you to make choices aligned with who you are becoming rather than who you used to be. Growth requires courage because it often means stepping into the unknown again, perhaps after decades of stability. But that is where your power lies, in the willingness to be uncomfortable in order to bloom again. The moment you choose to keep learning, you breathe life back into your dreams. You give your soul a reason to dance again. The decision to evolve is an act of defiance against limitation. It tells the world that you are not done yet, that you still have something to give, something to build, something to become. And when you take that first step, whether it is learning a new skill, changing a career, improving your health, or simply shifting your mindset, you begin to feel alive in ways you might have forgotten. The small spark of progress becomes contagious. It grows into momentum. Suddenly, you find yourself proving wrong every doubt that whispered you were too old, too late, too stuck. Each time you decide to evolve, you unlock another layer of your potential. You stop measuring your life by the years behind you and start valuing the possibilities ahead. Growth is not about speed, it is about direction. It is about refusing to stay the same when your soul knows you can become more. The beauty of this truth is that it belongs to everyone. It does not matter when you start. What matters is that you do, because the moment you decide to evolve, the world shifts with you. Doors you never noticed begin to open. Opportunities you once thought belonged to others suddenly feel within reach. You begin to realize that growth has never been about time. It has always been about choice. Every stage of life holds a new opportunity to learn and transform. It is a quiet but powerful truth that life never stops offering lessons, even when we think we've already learned enough. Each season brings its own kind of growth, sometimes gentle, sometimes challenging, but always purposeful. When you begin to see your journey not as a straight line, but as a series of evolving seasons, you understand that no moment is wasted. The energy of youth may fade, but in its place grows depth, clarity, and a richer understanding of what truly matters. Every stage gives you new tools to build with, new insights to guide you, and new chances to become more of who you are meant to be. Transformation is not reserved for fresh beginnings. It also lives in quiet restarts. The middle of life, or even the later years, can hold just as much power for change as the beginning. You may have spent decades walking one path only to realize that your heart now longs for another. That realization is not failure, it is awakening. The courage to begin again, to take the lessons of your past and turn them into wisdom for your next chapter, is one of the greatest forms of strength. Life continuously invites you to shed what no longer fits, to release old versions of yourself, and to step into something truer. Sometimes transformation comes softly, a new mindset, a shift in how you speak to yourself, a decision to choose peace instead of perfection. Other times it arrives as a storm, shaking the foundation of everything you thought you knew. But both are forms of grace. Both move you forward even when it doesn't feel like it. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always decide how you will grow from it. Every mistake carries a lesson. Every ending opens a door. The key is to stay awake to those lessons instead of shutting down when things get hard. Each stage of life also invites a different kind of learning. In youth you learn by doing, by falling and rising again. In maturity you learn by reflecting, by seeing patterns and meaning in your journey. In later years you learn by teaching, by sharing your wisdom with others. But learning never stops, it only changes form. The mind that stays curious stays alive. The heart that keeps asking questions keeps expanding. Growth becomes not something you chase, but something you live. So, when you find yourself thinking it's too late to change, remember that life is still whispering new lessons to you. It is never too late to learn, to forgive, to rebuild, or to transform. Every breath you take is an invitation to evolve. Every day that dawns is proof that you still have purpose. Each stage, no matter how familiar or uncertain, holds the potential for something new, something beautiful that only you can bring into the world through the courage to keep growing. The courage to start again is the secret to lifelong growth. It takes an extraordinary kind of strength to let go of what once was and begin anew, especially when the path ahead is uncertain. Yet, every fresh start is a declaration of faith, a belief that no matter how many times you've fallen, there is still more within you waiting to rise. The world often glorifies success, but the true heroes are those who refuse to stop trying. They fall, they break, they heal, and they begin again with more wisdom, more humility, and more heart. Each time you start over, you refine your understanding of what it means to live fully. You shed old fears, outdated dreams, and misplaced expectations, making space for something greater to grow. Starting again doesn't mean you failed. It means you've grown beyond what once fit you. Life changes, circumstances shift, and so must you. There are seasons when you will outgrow your surroundings, your habits, even your own identity. To begin again is to honor your evolution. It is to say, I am willing to meet myself where I am now, not where I once was. This courage transforms pain into purpose and endings into openings. It reminds you that nothing in life is ever truly over. It is simply unfolding in a new way. The act of beginning again can feel terrifying because it requires vulnerability. You must face uncertainty, face judgment, and sometimes face the silence of not knowing what comes next. But hidden within that uncertainty is the spark of transformation. It is in those moments of not knowing that creativity is born, that resilience deepens, that new versions of yourself are forged. The courage to start again is not loud or dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and deeply personal. It's the moment you choose to try once more after disappointment. It's when you dare to love again after heartbreak, to rebuild after loss, to trust life after being let down. Each restart is an act of faith in the future. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience, from the strength built through your past struggles. What once hurt you now becomes your wisdom. What once defeated you now becomes your drive. Every scar you carry is proof that you have survived before and can do it again. That knowledge is your greatest power. Growth does not come from perfection, it comes from persistence. To start again is to give yourself another chance to dream differently, to move forward with clearer vision, and to live with renewed passion. The world belongs to those who are brave enough to keep creating themselves anew. No matter how many times life asks you to begin again, rise to meet it. Because each time you do, you don't return to who you were. You rise closer to who you were always meant to become. Wisdom grows when you embrace change, not when you resist it. Life, by its very nature, is movement. Everything around you is in a constant state of transformation. the seasons, the people, the opportunities, even your own emotions. Yet so often we cling to what feels familiar because it feels safe. We resist change because it asks us to release control, to step into the unknown, and to trust that something greater is waiting on the other side. But the truth is, wisdom is born in those very moments when we choose to flow with life instead of fighting against it. Every change, whether invited or unexpected, carries a lesson that shapes us into more aware, more compassionate, and more resilient beings. When you embrace change, you open the door to understanding yourself on a deeper level. You learn to see your patterns, your fears, and your strengths with new clarity. You begin to understand that growth often hides behind discomfort. The things you resist the most usually hold the key to the lessons you most need to learn. Change stretches you. It challenges your perspective, your patience, and your courage. It forces you to evolve beyond your limitations and to build a wisdom that cannot be taught by comfort. Only experience, especially the kind that unsettles you, can carve real insight into your soul. Resisting change keeps you stuck in the past, repeating the same cycles and wondering why nothing feels different. It traps you in what was, instead of allowing you to live in what can be. When you resist, you close yourself off from the natural rhythm of life that is always moving forward. But when you accept change, even the painful kind, you align yourself with growth. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like every transition, but it means you trust that each shift has meaning. You trust that endings can lead to new beginnings and that loss can teach you what truly matters. Wisdom also grows through observation. When you allow change to happen, you start to see the patterns of life, how everything is connected, how every challenge has a purpose, and how every transformation refines you. You realize that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. With that awareness, even the most difficult seasons take on a quiet sense of meaning. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" That question alone turns pain into power and confusion into clarity. To embrace change is to live with trust, with faith that life knows what it's doing even when you don't. It means allowing yourself to evolve instead of forcing yourself to remain the same. Each time you surrender to the flow of change, you become wiser, softer, stronger. You begin to understand that wisdom is not the absence of chaos, but the ability to stay grounded through it. In the end, it is not what changes that defines you. It is how you choose to grow through it. Your mindset determines your youth more than the number of your years. Age is a number, but the state of your mind is a reflection of your spirit. Some people grow older, but never grow stale. They remain vibrant, curious, and full of wonder because they refuse to let time define their energy. Others, though young in years, move through life as though their dreams have already ended. The difference lies not in the calendar, but in the consciousness. When your thoughts are open, when your attitude remains hopeful, when you continue to believe that there is more ahead of you than behind, you carry a kind of agelessness that no wrinkle or gray hair can take away. The secret to feeling young is not in denying age. It is in nurturing a mind that continues to seek, learn, and love. The moment you let your mind close to possibility, you begin to age in spirit. Stagnation, not time, is what makes a person feel old. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, living the same patterns, and refusing to grow, your energy begins to dim. But when you challenge yourself to see new perspectives, to try new experiences, and to dream beyond your comfort zone, your mind stays alive. You begin to realize that curiosity is a kind of fountain of youth. It keeps your spirit awake, your creativity active, and your heart inspired. People who keep learning, laughing, and exploring carry a lightness that transcends age. Their energy is contagious because it comes from the joy of discovery. A youthful mindset is also built on gratitude and adaptability. Life will change, your body will change, Your surroundings will change. But when you greet these shifts with acceptance rather than resistance, you keep your energy free. Gratitude helps you see beauty in every phase of life. It reminds you that every age brings its own kind of magic, the passion of youth, the power of maturity, the peace of wisdom. When you embrace that truth, you stop wishing for the past and start cherishing the present. Each day becomes an opportunity to live fully rather than a countdown to growing old. Your thoughts shape how you experience time. If you believe your best days are behind you, they will be. But if you believe that every sunrise brings new potential, your spirit will continue to expand. The mind has incredible power. It can make you feel young in the midst of age or weary in the middle of youth. Choose to keep your thoughts light, hopeful, and resilient. Choose to focus on growth rather than decline. Life will always mirror the energy you bring to it. Your mindset is the lens through which you experience everything. Keep it clear, curious, and courageous. Stay open to learning, laughing, and loving deeply. As long as your heart is willing to grow, you will never truly grow old. Youth, after all, is not a time of life. It is a state of mind. Growth at any age begins with curiosity, humility, and the will to keep moving forward. These three forces are the roots of transformation, no matter where you are in life's journey. Curiosity keeps the spirit alive. It invites you to look beyond what you already know and to explore the unknown with wonder rather than fear. It's what drives you to ask, what else can I learn? What else can I become? Without curiosity, life becomes repetitive and dull. With it, every day feels like a new beginning. Curiosity gives birth to possibility. It opens the door to experiences that stretch your understanding and deepen your wisdom. It reminds you that even after decades of living, there is still so much to see, to feel, and to create. Humility is the companion of curiosity. It allows you to admit that no matter how much you've achieved, there is always more to learn. Humility removes the pride that says, I already know enough, and replaces it with a quiet openness that welcomes growth. It teaches you that wisdom isn't about having all the answers, it's about being willing to ask better questions. When you are humble, you don't see learning as a sign of weakness. You see it as strength. You become teachable again, like a beginner who finds joy in discovery. That mindset keeps your heart light and your mind flexible, two qualities essential for lifelong growth. And then comes the will to keep moving forward, the inner fire that refuses to settle, that keeps you rising after every fall. Growth requires motion. It asks you to keep taking steps even when progress feels invisible. It is easy to become stagnant, to let comfort turn into complacency, but real growth happens when you keep walking, even when the road feels long. The will to move forward is built in moments of quiet determination, in the choice to show up one more time, to try one more thing, to believe in yourself one more day. Every time you move forward, no matter how small the step, you prove to yourself that you are still capable of evolving. When curiosity, humility, and willpower work together, they form a cycle of continuous renewal. Curiosity opens your mind to new paths. Humility keeps your ego from blocking your progress, and the will to move forward carries you through obstacles. Together, they ensure that growth never ends. At any age, this trio can reignite your purpose and help you reinvent your life. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to stay open, grounded, and persistent. Growth is not about age, it is about spirit. When your curiosity burns, your humility guides you, and your willpower drives you, you remain forever in motion. Life rewards those who keep learning, keep listening, and keep moving forward. Because no matter how much time has passed, the moment you choose to grow, the universe opens a new chapter just for you.